Hello, Victor and Lachlan from Unclenched.com.
So loud.
With another episode of Maximum Loot Podcast, episode 5. It's going pretty well. We're pretty happy with this show, so we enjoy doing it.
Still lots to talk about all the time, which is nice.
Yeah, and this week is no exception. We have a lot of news to discuss. Some big news, some small news, some really funny news, which we're going to talk about later.
Some medium news.
Medium news as well. This episode of the Maximum Loot Podcast is sponsored by getgaming.net.au. More about them later. What are you playing, man?
I've officially given up on PUBG.
Have you?
Yep. Because every week you're like, what are you playing? And it's like, PUBG or Rocket League or whatever else. I've given up on PUBG.
Yep.
So I'm going to get God of War and
Cool.
smash
You're
that
going to
down.
come over to the PlayStation for a bit.
Yeah, for the dark side, yep.
I just played PUBG this morning, and that's what we're recording today. Not you. You'll see what we're doing later. We'll see what we're doing later.
It's not that I've given up on it. It's just the last few games I've played, so many bad things have happened that it's just made me lose my mind.
Especially on the Xbox.
Well, I had all this really good stuff. Like, I flew into a place, basically picked up an M16 silencer, 4x scope. Next building, SCAR, essentially the same stuff, like level 3 military vest, level 3 helmet. I was geared up to the teeth, like amazing stuff. I was in top 10 and I was riding a motorbike and I hit something and I just died. And I lost it. I just can't deal with it
That's
anymore.
always the worst way to go out. It's not the dying that is frustrating, it's how you die.
It's how
really
you die.
bad, yeah.
And like you don't want to play it again because it takes... From starting to getting to the top 10, it's probably about
Takes
half
a long
an hour.
time. It's a long
and
game.
You're running and you're just doing all this annoying stuff, and then you die like that, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a really good driver in those games, but
I feel like
still happens.
You just can't ride a motorbike.
Motorbikes are just dangerous. But yeah, I updated it yesterday. It's like a 6 gig update on the PC just because I haven't played it in so long. And then tried playing it and it was like, you can't play because of this. And I was like, I'll just uninstall it, reinstall it.
Yeah.
13 gigabyte reinstall.
Oh.
And then this morning played it, you can't play it because of this. And I was like, wow, what the hell? And so I went online and apparently they've cracked down on cheaters so much that this program I used to make the game look a little bit better was banned now.
Really?
Yeah, because it's cracking down on cheaters on the PC version. So I had to uninstall that program and then the game worked fine.
Huh.
So that's a good thing.
Was that actually... Yeah, I remember playing it on the PC with you, and I can't remember what key it is, but you press a key and it actually makes it look better.
It would just make it look a bit brighter, which is probably a little bit of a cheat, to be honest, because you're playing with enhanced graphics. But other than that, anyway, the first topic of the is our poll that we ran last week, which was an interesting poll. But this week we've thought of a previous poll, which we'll ask you later.
Finally, not during the conversation. So, has playing a limited time free-to-play game encourage you to purchase it after?
Yeah.
So basically, if you're, if one of those weekends where you get a free game and you've played it, have you played it afterwards?
Yeah, so what made us... it was Halo 5 and Skyrim. They were free for a weekend.
Yeah.
So that made us think of the question. So if you haven't answered that and you still want to, you can answer it this week and we'll still feature you next week. But what were the poll results?
So 67% said never and 33% said yes. So pretty surprising, actually.
Never people would be...
They wouldn't buy the game.
Wouldn't buy it or have never even really installed a free game.
Yeah.
That's something we'll talk about now.
I guess just on that as well, it's something I've never really... I don't think I've done it.
Well,
I've played free games all the time and I never actually go out and buy them.
It's a tiny little bit different in Australia because our internet speeds are so slow.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to spend 6 hours installing a game only to have to uninstall it the next day.
A couple of hours to uninstall it.
Yeah, so we did get a few comments this week. So... On that poll on Twitter, Dawson hosting. If you're counting betas, then I'm voting yes. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I guess even free early access. Yeah, does that sort of count? But technically, you have to buy that to do it anyway. Yeah. Betas. That's good.
That's a good question.
So
I hadn't considered that before.
Just recently, Metal Gear, Magic the Gathering Arena. I got a beta code to that, and loved it. So I'll definitely be purchasing that game in the future when that comes out. So in that aspect, yes.
You're a yes.
But in a sense that hey, a game that's already been out for years coming out for free, most people know.
Yeah.
So if Destiny 2 was free for the weekend, I wouldn't buy it.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's the other thing as well. If Destiny 2 is free, I feel like the majority of people who wanted to play Destiny 2 would already have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm sure some people. I mean, some people said yes. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be people who do it.
So
but
it works. It does work for them to do it. We have another comment from Cookies Kill Children. Destiny 2 was the last midnight launch I went to. Was good. So much effort was put into it. My order was redirected to another store to get a midnight release. So that was in regards to the other question we asked is, have you been to a midnight launch
Yeah.
before?
Or when was the last time you went to a midnight launch?
Yeah. So that was from Cookies Kill Children. Thank you very much.
That's pretty good, actually, that they sent the game to another
I'm
store.
pretty sure it was eBay Games, which, for those of you that don't know, is our game...
GameSpot?
Spot.
Is that what it is? GameStop?
GameStop. It's GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a website that's like exactly the same name almost.
Yeah.
And then Cloudy95 says, I don't really play during free weekend periods, so I guess my answer to the question is no. If they announce a new Splinter Cell game, I really hope they come back to old mechanics of how enemies spot you. So that sort of goes against what you said.
I said, and I was like infuriated by the fact that as soon as someone saw me, it was game over.
Yeah. So I actually prefer the older mechanics too. I like the harder, more stealthy sort of game. So that's what it is. It's a stealthy game at its core. So thank you to those 3 commenters.
Yes, thank you.
If you want to be featured in an episode, just say you've got yourself a little business or YouTube channel, simply leave us a comment, a question, and we'll feature you in the episode after that you leave the comment. Yeah, simples. My dog barks at that ad every time.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't even have to be in the same room. She'll hear it.
I love that ad. It's my favorite ad.
So next topic is, and this actually has to do with the question we asked a few weeks ago, is would you prefer to wait for a game to be delayed? Would you prefer a game to be delayed and then released fully made?
Yeah.
Or would you want
like
it to be released
12
straight
months
away?
earlier, yeah. Buggy and all that.
Yeah. So Call of Duty 4 is apparently not having any single player to begin with. It's just a rumor.
There's all those things that come out before a game comes out, and it's like, we're going to be doing this, and then they never actually do it, or they do end up doing it, and then they bring some like an expansion out later, or they do an update. So
well, it's happened before with GTA 5, but the other way. So when it first came out, for like months, it didn't have any online,
and then
which ruined it for me completely. Because when I tried to play it online when it was finally released, it didn't work.
It was so buggy.
And then I was like, I'm not doing it. And then a few months later, when it was working, I was so far behind
that you didn't want to.
I didn't want to play it. Yeah. So Call of Duty potentially not having any single player to begin with. I've always liked the Black Ops single players.
I've just liked the single players in general. And they it takes like 7 hours to finish.
They're very short. Yeah, they're very short.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
So rumors that there will be a battle. What is it called?
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale mode and multiplayer. I'm not. Look, people are like, oh, Battle Royale, everything, and there is like literally on Steam. There's like Battle Royale, Practice Simulator, and everything. There's heaps of crap. But I'm not against it because it's fun and
I'll still play it.
It's in at the moment.
But
so we'll be getting Call of Duty 4. So I hope to see a single player there.
Yeah, definitely.
From the get-go. Would I go back and play it? Maybe. I mean, we're in the industry, so probably, but a lot of people won't.
I guess that's why, though. Like, I guess it'll take a long time to make the campaign when you only get, 7 to 10 hours of gameplay out of it. And then it's something people don't return to. They might play it in the easy setting and then the hardest setting or something like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, and it's all about the time that they have to do it as well. They're under the gun, and their main priority is online. So that's what the article said.
Well, that's like what Hope said last time as well.
Yeah. There's too much pressure.
There's too much pressure for them to build all this stuff and get it out on a release date. When if you're only focusing online, you might actually have more time.
Yeah, exactly. So fingers crossed they get their shit together. I'd like a full release, from the get-go. But even like the other Call of Duty, the World War II one.
Yeah.
They're starting to release DLC for that game. Have no interest. Even with Black Ops 4 when that comes out.
I couldn't stand the World War II game.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, like to release a game without the full kit and caboodle from the get-go, for me, really hurts it. For a lot of people, not so much.
Well, the other thing as well is if they're only going to do an online gameplay, would you release a game on disc? Because that kind of seems pointless.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because then, like, what is a disc anymore? It's just a shallow. It's like a license, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
All you're buying these days. Because when you still install a game, you still got like to install the disc, and then you've got to update it, which is like 10 gig.
I have this argument all the time where I always liked buying hard copy games because I just liked seeing them. But I just realized, like when I was playing the other day, that I don't actually have any out to look at or anything like that. They're just in a box, and I'll go through them if I want to play a game. I'm like, there's really no point now, actually.
The only thing with digital is sometimes they're not on par price-wise.
Yeah,
sometimes they're cheaper, but 80% of the time they're more expensive.
Yeah.
So really,
that is true. Yeah.
So they should really figure that out because it's bull.
Well, yeah,
crap.
like
It's bull.
$80 to $100 online, $60 at a store.
Yeah,
like, that's
it's
a fair chunk of money for a lot of people.
It's a huge price difference, especially when God of War you can get for $69 and they're still trying to sell it for $99 on the PlayStation
Yeah,
Store.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So next topic is again going back to the discussion of would you prefer a game to be delayed? The Dark Souls for the Switch has been delayed. It was meant to come out in May, late May.
Yep.
But now it's been delayed till summer. So summer in America would be winter for us. So which is August.
Only a few more months.
A few more months, but it makes a big difference. Like the other consoles are still coming out on the 25th of May.
Yeah.
So PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, so they'll still be getting it, but the Switch will have to wait a bit longer.
Would you play it on the Switch?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, just for the different mechanics.
Yeah.
To have those two controllers. If you played it with those, would be interesting. If that's how it's going to work, I'm not sure. Maybe that's why it's taking a little bit longer because the mechanics are going to be a little bit different, which excites me. But probably won't have a Switch when that comes out unless, again, they start releasing limited edition.
Well, you still are thinking of buying one if they do a limited edition.
If they do like a special skinned one. Yeah. So, again, that's good that they're delaying it. You're not a Dark Souls fan, but I love Dark Souls. So I'll be playing the hell out of it.
I think
when
you
it comes
and Jeff both like it, don't you?
No, it's Mads.
Oh,
that
Mads.
loves it. Yeah, Jeff never really got into it. It's a very difficult game. Very I don't know. When the first one came out, no one knew what the hell it was.
I think that's why I never bought it because I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, and I'd played Demon Souls, which was the game before, which was like very hard to find in Australia. And then Dark Souls 1 come out, I'm like, I'm into it. I'll grab it.
Yeah.
And then back then, there was not many people playing it. So when something was discovered for the first time, you'd go online, you'd post about it, it'd get heaps of follows and stuff, and then you'd all discuss your findings together, and it was really fun. Then Dark Souls 2 and 3 came out and had such a following that it didn't have the same
matter
feeling.
anymore. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to feeling that initial feeling again.
It'd be good if you can get a game like that again, but it's everything's so popular now that it's hard to do.
Yeah, the video game industry. The people like us, like there's thousands of hundreds of thousands of content creators
There's
out there.
so much stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard.
And so when you guys leave us a comment like, hey, that makes us feel really great because, hey, at least there's one person that's sort of watching us.
Yeah.
So we encourage the comments.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking about Nintendo Switch, do you know what the Labo is?
Only because you explained it before, but honestly, when you first said it, I was like, what the hell is the Nintendo Labo?
Have you not seen anything about it?
I've just seen like articles and stuff, but I've never bothered reading about it. A, because I'm not a Nintendo fan, and B, because I just don't really care.
Not knowing what it is, explain to me what a Nintendo Labo is.
You have to build something like...
Yeah, explain to me. What
I don't know. You got to build your own like console to actually play, or I honestly have no idea.
That's actually a really good a really good way you put it, because that's basically what it is.
That sucks.
So it came out recently, and I'm not 100% sure. I know a few models of the Labo already in circulation, so people are getting play with it. But there's a few Labos like the fishing rod. So again, I've never played with the Labo. I've never seen gameplay footage of it before. But you have a controller, and then you have the other controller, or whatever, and then you hook it up to the Labo, and it makes it like it's real. So you can have the Nintendo. I mean, not the Nintendo, the piano Labo, and play piano with it, and it uses the controller and the touchpad. I think if it even has the touchpad or whatever to play the game.
What's the point?
It's high tech. It is really actually high tech technology,
right? Because
you build like this fishing rod, like that. Reel has a real coincidence. What am I trying to say here? That reel on the fishing rod when you do it, it does it in the game.
It'll do it in the game.
So
yeah.
you're not just like pretending like you're doing something. It's actually gonna.
It just sounds like you're
Makes
building
sense.
something out of a 3D printer, and
Yeah,
it's just
pretty
got,
much.
like it'll just connect to the game basically.
Yeah, it's a bit smarter than that,
Yeah.
but that's basically what it is. But it's coming out lately that some of these things are taking. This is the funny news I was talking about earlier today, because for some reason I find it so funny.
This whole segment is funny because I'm so confused about it, and I hate the name as well for some reason.
Nintendo Labo.
It just sounds weird.
Labo. It's like Gabbo from The Simpsons.
Maybe that's what I'm referring to.
Labo. Yeah. So it's come
Nintendo
out
Labo.
recently that these Labos can take over 2 hours to build. Some of them. So
God.
I'll put it into another perspective for you. Imagine if the new Halo game comes out and you had to build a gun like an amiibo. You know what I mean? You put the amiibo on, but you had to use build that amiibo, and it took you 2 hours to get this awesome Master Chief.
You know what I'd do? I'd pay someone to do it. There's a market for someone there. If they want to do it, I will pay you to make this crap so as I can use it.
Some of them take like 10 minutes, but still a lot of them are going to take over the 2 hour mark to build.
I can see people definitely doing it because they love making. I mean, like Lego and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Some Lego can take hours and hours and hours. So I think definitely there's a market for that, but it's pretty small.
I just don't want to be like,
whoops.
that cost me $100. Like,
I've just snapped it and like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What if you break something like that's pivotal to it? Like, can you send it back? You have to get it back in a whole bunch of different pieces. There's another 2 hours that
You
you're
got
going
to
to spend
rebuild it. You're missing a piece. Like,
it's IKEA. You've got 400 other pieces, and you're like, what have I done?
Where's this piece? Oh, I put it here. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that they, just say it comes out and people don't enjoy building it, that they will just be like, let's ship them out fully
built, fully assembled.
Because I'm assuming that's going to save them a lot of time and a lot of money, Nintendo. Like, just to send them out, and a part of the concept is to build. Imagine if we got sent out like PlayStations that were like computers that you have to build
your
and
own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind building a computer because
you do that once every 5 years.
Yeah, well, I find it easy as well because you literally buy your parts and you just stick it in basically. For me, building the Nintendo Labo, I'm going to be looking at it and going, nah, I don't want to do this. I'm going to pay someone to do it.
No.
Like, don't want to do it.
So Nintendo Labo,
God,
we're coming for you. No. Alright, so this episode of the Maximum Loot Podcast, episode 5, is sponsored by getgaming.net.au. Now, this company has been with us from pretty early on.
A year?
Yeah, probably a little bit longer. Actually, about a year and a half now. Actually,
yeah.
And we haven't even been around for 2 years yet, so very early on.
Pretty good.
So they've got two main companies. They've got their rental site, which is amazing if you're in Australia. It's called getgaming.com.au, and you can rent games from them for a fraction of the price. I think it's like $300 or $400 for a year subscription, and they send you out the games as they come out, and then you send it back, and you get another one in the mail.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's
really good,
smart.
yeah.
There's other businesses like it, but Get Gaming are super concentrated on their customers.
I should do it. I don't know why I haven't.
It's it's a good, because
I
we'll
just
talk
don't-
about it. And
yeah.
we'll see if we can get you a deal.
Well, it means I don't have to go out and buy a game for $100.
Yeah.
And then it gets posted to me, so I don't have to leave the house.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah. But also recently they've been looking to the retail side of things. So now they've got getgaming.net.au, which you have actually used.
I have used before.
Yeah.
I have bought games from there.
Yep. And the great thing about that system is, or about that website, is they have a system in place where if you purchase something, you get points, and then you can save those points to use for further discounts, which a lot of websites have. I know Expedia does, which is a travel website I use, and I've saved hundreds of dollars on travel that way. So,
EB has a point system, but does it actually do anything?
So the EB system, our GameSpot again, GameStop
Stop.
has a leveling system, and the higher level you go. So I've actually got the card here.
Because you're like the highest, or one of.
The highest you can currently go, which is a black level 4 card.
Ooh, fancy.
Shine.
I think I'm orange, so I think that's level 2.
Yeah, I think there's like silver, orange,
Green,
and then black.
Yeah.
So basically what that means is when you trade in games, you get a higher percentage. So the higher level you are, the more value you get. Also, they hold onto your pre-orders for longer.
Yeah, I did know that.
Apparently, you're meant to get exclusive event invitations, which I've never seen before, and other stuff. But apparently, they're going to be implementing a level 5, and they've been sending people like level 5 subscriptions, but it's very limited at the moment, which I would deserve because I've been on level 4 for like 2 years now. It's like nuts. So
that being said, when's the last time you reckon you bought something from EB?
Heaps lately.
Oh, really?
Well, so these expensive games, digital only.
Yeah.
So if I want to go to EB Games and buy a game physically, I can still get them to price match with any store.
Will they price match online?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But also all these collector's editions that I'm getting, the God of War console, which comes out tomorrow, I'm getting that. All these things that I slowly buy. Yeah. So I'm still building the points on this. So hopefully they should just be like,
give you a level 5.
Do you want a job?
Expansion pack? Massive pack of this?
Could you imagine if the level 5 card is like this thick?
It should just be like a brick of gold or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of game discs smashed down into a card.
Oh, they should make it out of game discs.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So probably wouldn't be.
EB Games is a great store, but it's very expensive when you compare it to Big W.
You have to go in there and price match.
Which a lot of people don't do. So often I'll be in there and see a mum buy a game for $100. She's not knowing that there's a $69
I think I actually
copy.
said to someone once, like they walked out of the store after buying the game, and I was like, you realize that's like $70 at JB? And they were like, yeah, but they were out of copies. And I was like, you can do a price match. And she took it back in, and because it was still sealed and stuff like that, got a refund. And she's like, I'd like to buy this again and have it price matched to EB. And the guy was just like, yeah, all right. I was like, you could have just said it to begin with. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
They can't.
Though,
I mean, they have to make money.
But let's be real. I'll be like, do you want to price match that?
I would. I'd be
What's
the worst.
The lowest copy? Sorry, I know you need help there, customer. I'm just looking up for this other customer what the cheapest copy is online.
I'd be the worst salesman. I'd just be like, it's cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah. Which is, I've been in sales before, and if you really like the customer, it's always very tempting to be like, I'll give you a better deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the last bit of news that we have to talk about today, No Man's Sky.
Yes, we spoke about that last time, and it has a release date now.
Yeah, well, it's come up on Amazon for the 29th.
Release date.
Yeah, for the 29th of June.
Yeah.
So I've read that they're going to use that release date to launch their product sort of around E3, bring up the hype, show the big expansion. I'm keen.
Yeah. I am. I never really played the first one yet, as I said, because it was just so garbage. So I do actually want to play this. And see
you
how
can
it
go
goes.
pick up yourself a cheap copy now, because when the game comes out, the prices probably go back up.
Yeah, that's true. I should do that.
So
give it a whirl.
That would be smart. But I don't know if it's your type of game, because there's a lot of like mining and that sort of stuff.
That's the other thing as well. I'll give it a shot. And then
there's battling, like you still fight robots and monsters. They attack and you take photos of them, and then you go away and you go in your space. The flying in the spaceship and the space battles are pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And like the managing your fuel, I always really like that.
Yeah.
And going to the space stations and finding like a new planet and just exploring that new planet. But then that's when it got repetitive, because
you've explored so many different planets and it's just the same.
It starts getting a bit repetitive, but these planets are so big, like that finding everything on them is super difficult.
Yeah, well, like how long would it take to find everything on one planet?
It takes a while, but you have scanners and stuff that helps narrow it down for you. But it does take a while, and I'm totally going to reinstall that game when the next update comes. When the next update comes.
Next?
Because that's what's called No Man's Sky Next.
When the No Man's Sky next update comes out next.
Yeah. So
on that note.
So this week's question of the week, which you can answer our poll, which will be running after this episode is launched on Twitter, which is Unclenched Team at Unclenched Team.
Yep.
Our question of the week is for starters, if you have a Nintendo Switch, are you going to buy Labo? Nintendo Labo.
And even if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, would you consider buying it, I think, as well?
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't.
I'm interested to see Let's Plays, and I was telling you before, speed runs of building the Labos.
And in the comment section, after this question is posted, would you pay someone to build it for you if you wanted to get it?
Or will you build my Labo and how much?
Yeah, how much are you going to build it? If it's 2 hours, $20 an hour.
Well, you could do that. You could buy, just say, Get Gaming, for example. Get Gaming could buy the Labo, pre-build it, and send out these Labos.
Get Gaming, we've done something for you.
We've done your your job. We want an extra promotional game.
No Man's Sky next.
Yeah, next. All right. So make sure you answer all these questions, and you'll be featured in next week's episode. Thank you very much for coming, Lachlan.
Pleasure.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I do. I do like doing this.
The having the cameras.
Prefer this to PUBG.
God, look how tiny you look on that one. Hopefully that was in focus.
I think it is. I swear we looked. Sometimes if things are out of focus or anything like that, we're still learning. But I think it's getting better every time.
So last week, my camera, which is over there, was out of focus for 80% of it. So there wasn't many cuts last episode because I wasn't going to cut to him only.
Just this camera on me, and you just have this random voice coming from over there.
Yeah. So just in case mine's out of focus, I did appear on the show this week.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you answer all of our questions. If you have any questions for us, let us know. Do you want to add anything?
No.
Hey, at least we're a bit more prepared this week with having a question on the
Yeah,
show
instead
already.
of just like last week when we were like thought of a question during it and then couldn't remember at the end, and it was like, oh my god.
We've still got a few kinks to figure out.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm coming home.